Now, in order for you to make changes to this, you've got to find your way to the place where all those announcements are created. You can get to that by clicking on any one of the underlined headings that go with each of these posts. So I'm going to click on Open Evening, and that will take me through to that particular post. If you think about it in blogging terms, each of these entries is a post. In Google Sites terms, each of these entries is in fact a new page of type announcements, but essentially they're the same thing. And you can see just above the heading here, the hierarchical tree, home, and underneath home, latest news, and underneath latest news, open evening, which is this particular post. And I want to go up one level, so I'm going to click on latest news. And this is like seeing the whole blog, if you like. I can see the latest posts which have been put in here. And because I'm an editor of this page, and you will see the same thing, you get this new post button, which other people don't get to see. When you click on that, it's going to create a new post or a new page called, rather unimaginatively, it's called Untitled Post. And I'm going to put in here new post using announcements. And that's the heading. And in this section, this is where the text goes. Okay, and I'm just going to repeat that a few times so we've got enough text in here to be meaningful. And I'm also going to include an image in here. Now we're in edit mode at the moment, and that's significant. I've just started a new tab, and I'm going to go to images.google.com, and in here I'm going to put new post. New post icon will do. And none of these are very meaningful. Let's choose that one. Okay, and I'm going to view the original image. And what I'm going to do now, I've got the image on its own page. I'm just going to drag this, and you can do this in Chrome. You can't do it in other browsers as easily. And bring it down to here and drop it into this post. Now I'm not doing anything with the size of it or the position of it, because you'll see when I click on save, there's a bit of a giveaway here. When you click on save, it says at the top of the page publishing, which is normally it would say saving on a page, but here it says publishing because it's effectively like publishing a blog post. And if we now click on the banner, which by the way will always take you back to the first page of your site, then you'll see that it's in here already, and the icon or the image we put in has been reduced to an icon size, a thumbnail size, and it just puts it straight in here. To get rid of any previous site, what we'll find is that if I have a look, if we go into edit mode, and you'll see now that the recent posts, the latest news section has been replaced by that grey placeholder rectangle for the gadget that we're using. And if I click on it, you'll be able to see that we're showing the last 5 posts at the moment, and we're showing a short snippet from each one, and we're including a thumbnail. That sounds about right to me. And what that means is that once you've got a 6th and 7th post, the older ones will start to fall off the bottom. If in the meantime you want to delete them, you can just go to them. So if you were to go to the one that says car boot sale, then this is a page, and you can delete pages by coming up to the More button and choosing Delete Page, and it will just get rid of it. I'm going to leave it for there for now because it'll get bumped off as you make new posts, and in the meantime it looks reasonably attractive, so you can remember how this thing is trying to look. Okay, so you can delete old posts anytime because each of these is a page, and deleting pages is easy from that More button. So that's the latest news section. One thing that's worth pointing out here, I'll just go into edit mode again briefly and click on that recent announcements object. And you can see here that it's actually the very top here. It says it's showing posts from, and then there that might be a drop-down list of lots of different announcements objects, lots of different announcements areas. So you could quite easily have announcements for staff, for sports, for all sorts of things, and use them in different web pages. That's just worth saying that it's quite a useful way of getting these announcements into a web page. I want to have a look now at the photo slideshow, and what we'll see if we again go into edit mode and click on the photo slideshow gadget and then choose its properties or settings, you'll see in here at the top here it says link to the presentation. Now what that means in fact is that behind the scenes here, that slideshow is in fact just a Google presentation, their equivalent of PowerPoint. And in fact the one that we're interested in is found at this address. It's got lots of other arguments on the end there. But I happen to know that it's called Front Page Slideshow or something like that, because that's what I typically do. So I'm going to go into my Drive now. Let's go to the Mail and to Drive. Okay, so now I'm in my Drive and I can see that I've got this presentation here called Front Page Slideshow. And quite simply, this is just a place where the photos can live and be arranged in a way that can then produce a good looking slideshow. So each of these slides here, I've taken the various images that I could find on your old website, and each of these slides just occupies each of these photos just occupies a different slide. And so if you wanted to, fairly frequently update the slideshow so that parents have got something new to look at when they come to the website, it's simply a case of coming to, I'll just create another slide here so you can see how easy it is. I'll put myself on the last one. We've got 13 at the moment. I'll say slide, new slide, and get rid of those things on the plain slide and say insert image. And now I'll have several choices about where I'm going to get that image from. It could be that I'm going to upload it from a memory stick or from the hard drive of my machine. It could be that I've found photos on the web that I want to use, and so I can do it by URL. It could be that it's coming from your albums because Google's got this thing called Picasa, which is also a part of Google+, which is specifically built for managing people's photos. Or it could be that I've uploaded the photos into my Google Drive. And I'm just going to go and let's see if I've got any images on my Google Drive at the moment. I don't think I have. In Governors, Kingswood Photos, yeah, okay, so I've already uploaded some of those photos. Let's just switch to this view. And let's say that I want to use that image. Select, it'll drop it in onto the page. I've already got the transition set for this slideshow, and as soon as I do that, the front page slideshow will update to reflect it. What I'm going to do just to prove that is I'm going to drag this image all the way up to number 1. Okay, so that's now the first image in the slideshow. If we go back to the website, just refresh because I'm logged in as a different user now. Sign in as Mark Allen. If we reload that front page slideshow, you can see that the new image is now the first one in the slideshow. So all you have to do is change these photos. Don't worry about anything else. It'll just magically update the website. Okay. Let's get back to the website. And the last component then on this front page is the diary. Well, one thing I ought to do just while I'm here is make sure that you have the rights to share. There we are. So you will already have, by the time you see this video, you'll already have got the email saying that I've shared a presentation with you, and now you'll know why I did that. Okay, back on the website then, the last thing is the school diary, and once again we can just go to calendar, and we'll see that Mark Allen, for instance, has got a view of a calendar called Staff, but I don't actually have access to any of the Kingswood calendars, so I've just got to do this slightly strange thing of signing out of me and signing back in as school at and the password for that account, and that should allow me back in now to the Kingswood calendar, and I can see here that on the left hand side I've got the Kingswood public diary and the staff calendar. Now you've been entering things into the staff calendar, and that's fantastic, but some of these events might just as well belong in a public diary that parents can see as well. So I'm just going to go into agenda mode because it makes it a little bit easier to see things like this. So if I was going to say, for instance, that singing practice was going to be made a public event as well, I might just expand it in this agenda mode and say copy to my calendar. And then once it's available for copying, I can choose which calendar to put it in. And I'm going to put it in the Kingswood public diary and then save. And if we go back to our website and refresh that page, we should find that singing practice is in there for Tuesday, June the 18th. So just as you're already doing with the staff calendar, put things in the public calendar and they will automatically find their way through to this school diary. How does that happen? Well, I just want to just make sure I'm signed in. Okay, so let me show you what happens under the bonnet here. If I come down to the school diary, so I've gone into edit mode as ever, into the school diary, clicked on the calendar object and its properties, and you can see that we're displaying two calendars here, one called UK Holidays and one called Kingswood Public Diary. And so that's why anything you put in the Kingswood Public Diary automatically comes through to this part of the front page. Okay, so little tiny recap then. I mentioned that there were a number of ways of editing the things that make up this page. The first is the direct editing for the text that is just text on the page. So that you do by going into edit mode, and then you're able to change things that are visible as text. The second is the site layout, or the editing layout, which you can get out from More and Edit Site Layout, and then you can modify regions like, for instance, the horizontal navigation region, and then close afterwards. And the third way is to edit the rich gadgets which are being used on the page, like the latest news, the slideshow, and the diary. You do that by going into edit mode, and then when you see the placeholders for these things, you click on them and go into properties, and that will allow you to make some changes. But you don't really need to do that because these things are in there and they're just working. So what you need to know is how to put things somewhere else such that they feed through into this front page. And we've covered how to change the announcements. Click on one of these headings and go up a level to the latest news, and then you can put a new post in there. How you can change the slideshow by going to the document that I've shared with you and changing the images that are in there, and how you can get things in the diary, which is exactly the same as you do for the staff diary. That then becomes true on any new pages you might make, and so you can go on and make new pages to go under these areas, and you in fact will need to look at these and make sure that that they've got content in them before the website goes live. But as soon as you are ready for it to go live, it can do. It's available already at www.kingswoodjuniorschool.co.uk, and the only difference is that you would start letting people know that that address exists. So I hope that's been useful. Do come back to me if you've got any problems at all, and I'll see you very soon in any case, but I think that will give you enough to be going on with. Bye now.